Hey there, welcome back. Thanks for joining me here on this warm, beautiful winter afternoon. It's great to be out here. I've been talking a lot in my last conversations about my paradigm shift and the experience that I've been having in life since then and where that journey's sort of taken me. But today I want to talk about why I feel the need to share my story somehow, why I think it's important for me to put it out there. And in the years since I had my paradigm shift, I've discovered there's a huge community of spiritual seekers out there, people specifically pursuing non-duality and enlightenment and awakening. And I see there are a lot of teachers out there as well, all across the spectrum of cultures and time and experiences. And the one thing that I've seen in common with every single human being that I've encountered who's tried to share this experience with others is that it's impossible to share it in a way that's not colored by the person who's channeling the message. That's not a criticism, and it's not to say that all these experiences aren't valid. It's just the opposite. But the communication of turning this experience into words is problematic because it has to go through our ego and our culture to even find the words to express ourselves. And it's a different experience for every listener because they're coming at the message with different ears. So after all of this, it seems to me that the only way to truly understand this state of being for those people who are seeking it is to listen to as many different people's experiences as possible and not confusing the message with the messenger. And if you listen to enough stories of people who've actually experienced or think they've experienced this and how they got there, it's a lot easier to see the underlying truths of all these experiences and separate them from the subjective perspective of people sharing the message. And in studying all these messages, I did realize that my method of getting here is extremely unusual. It's not tied to any specific spiritual practice or religious background or preconceived notions. I didn't even really know what non-duality or enlightenment really was, let alone dedicated myself to seeking it out or achieving it. And so I think the difference in my journey is, and not only my journey, but all atypical journeys, are great learning tools for people trying to find their own path. Because ultimately, all any teacher can do is share how they got there. That's all they know. And they only know the there that they achieved. And that's my limitation as well. And so the thing that I think sets my journey apart mostly, well, besides not searching it out, is that I think at the core of my philosophy in life, I've always been trying to understand the truth. I didn't care what that truth was. I had no predisposition to want one truth over another. I was just curious, and I was determined at a young age to solve the riddle of what the hell was really going on. And that curiosity for what was, I think, is more a scientific approach, maybe a logical approach, because it's not wrapped up in desires and beliefs. It's free of how those would color the whole thing. And another way my experience was different is at the time that it happened, it's not what I was trying to achieve. I really had felt like I'd done the bulk of my spiritual work when I was in my 20s, and that the understandings that I developed in my 30s were, well, I was happy enough with my world belief, with my spiritual beliefs, with how I'd come to live my life, and I was happy enough, very happy in that paradigm. I really had no reason to change it. The other thing throughout my whole life, I've been trying to become a better person and learn how to be me without hurting other people, learning how to love without, well, learning how to love properly. And I think that's a different goal than seeking an actual spiritual experience. My paradigm shift came during all things marriage counseling, and a new method of marriage counseling that was actually at its core teaching unconditional love. And the moment I understood unconditional love was the moment I understood that I had never actually really loved in its purest state. It was always selfish. It was always wrapped up in my desires, and that was the day my ego shattered. So I want to talk more in future conversations about how all that transpired, but the main point I want to leave here is that there's no one way to get here, and getting here is simply a different experience, not better or worse. And instead of trying to be happier in life as a goal, that at the core of this, it's letting go of who you are to be happy and learning how to be the love that you're looking for. And then everything turns around. That's the other side of the coin. Living from the inside out instead of the inside in. Outside in. Anyway, thanks for listening. I hope to talk to you guys again soon. Appreciate it. Take care.